Roblox has been around for a long time, and more people are trying to make their own games. But most beginners learn scripting the slowest way possible without realizing it. In this video, I'll show you the 7 most common ways people learn Roblox scripting, the pros and cons of each, and the exact path that I recommend if you are starting from zero. There are many ways to learn scripting these days: YouTube videos, Discord servers, the DevForum, AI, reading coding scripts from the Toolbox, making mini projects, and paid coaching. There are other methods, but these are the main ones most people use. First, I'll quickly go through the pros and cons of each method, and then I'll show you what I think is the most optimal learning path if you've just started scripting. I'll also explain a mistake that slows down most new Roblox developers, so make sure you stick around for that. I will leave a link in the description for the DevForum. I'll also explain the benefits of the channel membership later in the video if you're interested in getting extra help with scripting. As usual, everything will be chaptered, so you can skip to specific sections if you'd like. Now let me begin. The first method I'll mention are YouTube videos. For the pros, it's free and accessible to everyone. You get visual learning, and people explain and show the code so you can follow along. And there is also a very wide variety of tutorials. And for the cons, there are a lot of outdated tutorials, and you can fall into the trap of copy-paste learning, and I'll go over how you should actually start later in the video. The quality also varies a lot, and you get limited feedback for YouTube videos. The second method would be Discord servers, or asking people for help. The pros are that real people can answer your questions quickly, you can share screenshots or code and get feedback. Communities often involve experienced developers, and if you're lucky, you might even have someone who gives you continued support for more than just answering one of your questions. For the cons, the answers can be inconsistent or incorrect. Some servers just completely ignore beginner questions, and help also depends on who is online at the time. The third one would be the Roblox developer forum. The pros are high quality answers from experienced developers. There's a lot of detailed tutorials and technical discussions, and it's a good place to search for past problems and solutions. And for the cons, it can be hard to understand for beginners because there's not a lot of beginner stuff in the dev forum. Posting may require approval or waiting for replies, and there's a lot less real-time interaction than chat communities. For the fourth one, we have AI. For the pros, you get instant explanations and you can get help with debugging scripts. It can explain concepts in simple ways, and it also helps generate example scripts or ideas quickly. But for the cons, the code may be incorrect or outdated. You might rely on it instead of learning fundamentals, similarly to copy-paste coding, and AI also doesn't fully understand your entire game project. A lot of people usually ask it some outrageous things and expect the AI to know how to do it. The fifth one would be reading code from the Toolbox scripts, or just reading code that other people have made in general. The pros would be you learn how real systems are actually structured, and you see practical uses of scripting in games, and also helps you understand how larger scripts are organized. For the cons, a lot of stuff in the Toolbox can have messy or bad code, it can be confusing for beginners, and there also could be hidden malicious code in some of the things from the Toolbox. Just make sure you don't run anything or add any Toolbox things into your game. Number 6 would be making mini projects yourself. This is one of the best ways to truly learn programming. It forces you to solve real problems, and it builds your portfolio of small games and systems if you ever decide to try and get hired. And the cons are, it can feel slow or frustrating at the start, you might get stuck without any guidance, and mistakes can lead to bad coding habits if not corrected. And the final one would be paid coaching. For the pros, you get structured learning and faster progress, you get direct feedback on your scripts, and you can learn advanced things and techniques a lot quicker. And the cons are, obviously, it's expensive, quality depends on the coach, and if the coach isn't the best, you might also have less independent problem solving practice if they just do the code for you rather than fully teaching you. That may happen depending on who you get. Now before I continue, I want to mention one huge mistake beginners make when learning scripting. Many beginners jump straight into trying to make a full game, and that usually slows down your learning by a lot. The first thing you should do is watch a beginner tutorial on YouTube. Just any beginner playlist that teaches you the absolute basics, things like variables, functions, loops, services, remote events, remote functions, and the 3 main script types. These are the most primary things that you use for basically everything you code, and you need to understand these before you do anything else. I recommend you watch the videos first, and then go to the dev forum, which I've left a link for in the description. And the dev forum is a bit different to tutorials usually, because it shows you how to actually use the things that you've learned to make something happen. One of the things that is very important early on is understanding how different parts of the script work together, not just learning each concept individually. After you get the bare bones understanding, you should work on seeing how things work together. That is the most important thing if you're learning scripting. And here is an example. And now for the example, you may understand what variables are, what functions are, services and things like that are, but you wouldn't understand how to actually use them all together to make something happen. For example, I've quickly set up a very simple data stat script without any data store or anything, very simple. And I have this button here that when I press it, I want to increase a value. You need to understand how to actually put things together to make that happen. For example, I put a local script inside of the click for cache button that I've created. For example, if I do script.parent.activated connect function, and then I'll just leave that blank. Then you'd use the remote event. I've put a remote event right now, I'll put one, and we'll just name it cache. So I'll put a remote event inside of the replicated storage, call it cache, and we'd fire through to the server. And inside of the server, we're going to make the cache increase because you can't do that from a local script. So we'll just say click. You don't really need to add this for this example, but I might as well. So we'll do rp.cache. See, Roblox autofills quite a lot of things now. It's quite nice. I decided not to though. There we go. And let's just look at this, see if it's good. If the action is equal to click, then yeah, that's good. So we get the remote event from here in the server. We get the player. The player is automatically sent when you fire from the client. And then the action, which would be this that we put in the quotations, the click. So if the action is equal to click, then player.leaderstats.cache.value plus equals 1, which means it will increase by 1. And this is why it's important to know how things work together, because a lot of people get stuck, and especially at the start, where they understand what things mean at a bare bones level, but they don't understand how to actually put things together. So now if I press play and I click the button, my cache increases by 1 each time I click it. You see? This is it for the example. Now, after you've finished in the DevForum, you can either go through code inside of the Toolbox, because that shows you how code works to actually create something functional. You can find a script for a movement system or a summoning system, or you could even go and look at YouTube videos, like mine for example, but actually look at the code and figuring out where things connect and why things are doing certain things, not just copy-paste coding, because then you won't understand when you try and make something by yourself without a tutorial. That's the last thing you want to do. And if you see things you don't understand inside of the script you're looking in, you can either ask AI to explain things better, or you can ask in a Discord server or a DevForum if you can. The next step will be making a mini project. It doesn't have to be a game that you publish, just a system that you'd have in a game. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make at this stage is trying to build a huge game immediately. As I mentioned earlier, you want to start small and build a system like a shop, a door system, or a basic ability, and making those will teach you a lot more than trying to make a full game right away. From this point on, it's mainly just about learning new basics and learning how to incorporate them. For example, learning about UDEM 2, how to work with GUI, learning about tween service, LURP, run service, vector 3s, C-frames, things like that, and then figuring out new things you can do with what you just learned. Coding the start is difficult. Once you get past that hurdle, coding becomes a lot more like actually building something and a lot less tedious. Just seeing that you can make something will give you a lot of relief, because now you can actually code a game. And this is generally one of the most important parts of a game. It's harder to find a scripter than it is to find other developers. So at this point, you could decide to make your own game if you want, because you can find other developers for example, modeling, building, animation, and then make a game. But yeah, that's all. And for a quick note, there is the faster method of obviously getting an experienced developer to teach you or coach you, because they can guide you through the best way, like actually step by step, and give you real feedback in real time. But that's completely optional, and most people can learn perfectly fine using free methods and just learning by themselves. And before I end the video, I also want to quickly mention the channel membership for anyone who wants extra things. If you're trying to learn scripting faster and want a bit more guidance, the channel membership might be perfect for you. There are 3 tiers depending on how much support you want. The first tier is a cheaper option for people who just want some casual support. You can ask scripting questions and get help if you're stuck. The second tier is focused on tutorials on this channel. You get extra code and additional help for the systems that I show in my videos. And the third tier gives you the full scripts from my tutorials, along with extra tips and explanations that don't always make it into the videos. But yeah, that's basically the approach that I recommend if you want to learn Roblox scripting efficiently. Everyone learns a bit differently, but the most important things to avoid copy-paste learning, and then also understanding how systems work together.